Hi, everyone. So good to see you all here today. We've got Roy, Nikhil, Outlaws, Sean, Sloth, Derek, Azam, Nihant. So good to see you all here. And I think that the group is just getting bigger and bigger. Amazing. All right. I am super excited to share our newest project. We've been so excited about this. We've been waiting. You've been telling us what you wanted, and here it is. Finally, you asked for it. Here we are. It is a AI DevOps project, and today it is the first project in a series of four where we will be building our very first AI API. Isn't that cool? Um, oh my goodness, so many people. It is so wonderful to see all of you. I am Maya from NextWork, and today I'm doing an interactive build lab where I'll be doing this project. You're most welcome to join along with me or just watch. And for anyone who doesn't have this project, let me put it in the chat. Here you go. All right, who's doing the project with me? Put it in the chat. Tell me where you're joining from, which part of the world you're in, and if you are doing this project along with me and you run into errors, let me know. We can resolve it together. I'm super excited. I'm doing this project for the first time, and I'm very excited. I haven't really worked with RAG, so I'd love to know if you've been really interested in RAG or if you're just hanging out for the vibes. Put it all in the chat. All right, let's see. Build a RAG API with FastAPI. Oh my goodness, we've been waiting for this. All right, so this is a quick 30-second summary. If you're new to NextWork, we always start the project with a 30-second summary just so that you have an idea of what to expect. And if you don't even want to go through this little 30-second summary, you can always just click on ask and say, tell me about this project. And you'll get a little quick blurb that might help you decide if this project is for you or not. So if you've ever wondered how companies build AI-powered APIs that developers can integrate into their apps, like think ChatGPT's API for conversational AI, GitHub Copilot for code suggestion, translation services, these are all AI that is used to power responses. And today we'll be building our own modern web framework with FastAPI combined with RAG to create intelligent APIs that answer questions based on your own knowledge base. Kind of like this little ask that we have here, right? Look at that. So how do we even get started with something like this? Well, that's what this project is all about. Exciting. All right, so this is project one of a four project series. And in this project and the series, we'll be building a working RAG API that can answer questions by searching through your documents. Nice. If at any point there's something that you want more clarifications on, like what is RAG? What does retrieval augmented generation stand for? Oh my goodness. If that's the case, you just hover around anything that's dotted, that has a dotted line below, and you'll get a quick definition. And if that definition still doesn't make sense, we can always just click on ask. So let's take a look at RAG. RAG is a technique that enhances large language models by giving them access to external, up-to-date information. Instead of relying solely on their training data, RAG models retrieve relevant documents or data snippets to inform their responses, leading to more accurate and contextually appropriate answers. All right, all right. I think that makes sense. Cool. What about DevOps? What is DevOps? If you wanted to know, you can always just click here and do a little ask, what is DevOps? And you can then have a little answer that is tailored, for your question. So let's see, DevOps is when you're combining practices, when you're combining software development with information technology operations. And it basically shortens the systems development lifecycle, and it's a more effective way instead of separating dev and operations, right? So you can always ask more questions in the ask and really take your time with this project and make sure that you are getting all your questions answered and you're very clear by the end of the project. All our NextWork projects are meant to be about 60 to 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours if you're troubleshooting. Actually, maybe 90 minutes if you're troubleshooting. But of course, there's plus or minus depending on how comfortable you are and what kind of a learner you are. So let's see. What we'll be building today is we'll be creating a RAG API using FastAPI, Chroma, and Llama. And we'll be running everything locally. So that means we can complete the entire project without paying any API fees or relying on any cloud services. Isn't that cool? Your API will answer questions by searching your knowledge database, your knowledge base, and then using AI to generate accurate answers. You'll also get automatic interactive API documentation with Swagger UI. Whoa. The same tools that professional developers use to build and test APIs, but all locally and for free. Isn't that awesome? All right, Slot says, I love Swagger. Very nice. Have you used any of these tools? Put it in the chat. Are you familiar with RAG, FastAPI, Llama, Chroma, Swagger? Is this all new to you? If it's new, don't worry. It's just like me. I'm doing it all for the first time. So bear with me if I'm the only one who's new to all these tools and technologies. All right, so why FastAPI and RAG? FastAPI is a modern Python web framework that makes it easy to build APIs with automatic documentation, type validation, and high performance. It's used by companies like Uber, Netflix, and Microsoft for building production APIs. Who's used FastAPI? And RAG, we've been talking about RAG for a while now. It combines document search with AI generation. So instead of AI just hallucinating and coming up with random answers from previously training data, RAG actually uses documents that we've uploaded. So it searches for relevant information and then uses that context to generate accurate answers. This is the same technique used by ChatGPT plugins, enterprise AI agents like this Ask feature over here. Very cool. All right. By the end of this, we'll have a working RAG API running on our laptop, an interactive API documentation with Swagger UI. How cool is that? And an AI-powered question answering system that uses your knowledge base. Whoa. This is epic. This is going to be a fire project. All right, so let's see. This is a nice little diagram that's very helpful. So it is, you ask a question, FastAPI is your API server. It goes through Chroma and then Llama and generates a response. And so then you get a response. Very cool. New to APIs or RAG? You don't need any prior experience in APIs, FastAPIs, or RAG. So get ready to learn from scratch and build all of it and understand how the systems work and how to create production-ready API documentation. Phew, Good, because I'm new to APIs and RAG. All right, okay, we're going to do a little bit of a quiz, and this is pre-project. So that means I'm going to need your help to do this quiz. All right? Okay, I see a lot of comments. Feel free to answer each other's questions. It's so good to see 18 folks over here. Great. Um, oh, wow. Juan, you already have the answer. I haven't even read the question. Let's go. I love this. What is the primary purpose of Olama in the context of this project? Ooh. A, to build the web API endpoints. B, to manage Python dependencies for the project. C, to run large language models locally on your machine. Or D, to store document embeddings for semantic search. Oh, it says you can't see my screen for the questions. Outlaws, just see if you can refresh, because I think Juan, Azam, and Sloth can see it. Try clicking the screen or the window to see if you can see the screen. All right. Oh, yeah. If you're doing this project on your end, it's probably random because these questions are not the same across everyone. Like it'll be different, and you can always create more instances of the quiz, so you can keep going. But yeah, if you are with me doing this particular question, I would love to know your answer. Is it A, B, C, or D? Juan says C, Azam says C, A said A, Slot said A, but then maybe Slot was looking at a different one. I think it's C too. Shall I do C? All right, let's go. Ah, good job, guys. You are awesome. So Olama is a tool that lets you run large language models such as Tiny Llama directly on your computer, providing privacy and offline capability. Amazing. Question 2. How does retrieval augmented generation, RAG, enhance the accuracy of AI answers in this project? A, by allowing the AI model to learn new information in real time from the internet. B, by first searching through specific documents for relevant information and then using that information to generate answers. C, by increasing the size of the AI model's training data. Or D, by enabling the AI model to generate answers without any external context. All right. Okay, I've got two B's, and I think B sounds about right. By first searching through specific documents or relevant information, and then using that information to generate answers. Woohoo! Two done. Let's go. All right, so RAG works by retrieving relevant information from a knowledge base and then augmenting the AI model's generation with this context. Nice. Question number 3. What is the main advantage of FastAPI's automatic documentation feature, Swagger UI? Okay. All right, Sloth, you love Swagger. Let's go. Tell me what this is for. A, it encrypts all data transmitted between the client and the API. B, it provides an interactive browser-based interface to explore and test API endpoints without manual coding. C, it automatically optimizes the API's performance for faster responses. Or D, it allows for real-time updates to the knowledge base directly from the browser. B. All right, okay, we've got a lot of B's. Okay, I think it is B. It does provide that UI, so I think it would be B. Nice. Swagger UI, automatically generated by FastAPI, allows user to visually interact with and test API endpoints directly from a web browser. Amazing. Question number 4. All right. What is the function of Chroma in the RAG API built in this project? What is the function of Chroma? It acts as a vector database to store and semantically search numerical representations, embeddings of text. B, it is the local AI model that generates human-like text responses. C, it serves as a web framework for defining API endpoints. Or D, it manages the asynchronous server gateway interface for the application. Oh, all right. Where is the answer? Do I see A? A vector database. Okay. All right. I think it's fair if this one is a bit tricky because we haven't talked about it much in the introduction. Chroma is a vector database specifically designed to store embeddings and allow for semantic search. Nice. Well done. Well done, guys. 4 out of 6. Way to go. 2 more. What is the tool? Which tool is responsible for running the FastAPI application and listening for incoming HTTP requests? A, Olama. B, Pip. C, Uvicorn. Or D, Chroma. Ooh, interesting. We've got C, Uvicorn, and B, Pip. All right, give me one more answer. Tell me which way to go. Is it B or C? Oh, Nikhil says, wait, it's C. My screen is different. Okay, fair. All right, Uvicorn is what we're going for. Anybody else? Going once, going twice, and C. Yay! Uvicorn is an ASGI server that runs FastAPI applications, handling incoming HTTP requests and routing them to the correct API endpoints. And again, if this is all new and it doesn't make sense, you can either ask any of this, like for example, Uvicorn, ASGI server, what is all this? You can always just ask and say, explain this to me in more detail. And then, use this. Oh, explain this in more detail. And then get a better, more comprehensive answer if you wish. Or because this is a pre-project quiz, it's okay if you don't ask all the questions just yet. I'm sure when we get to it, it'll make more sense. Choices, choices, choices. All, however you want to learn. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Question 6. Why is a Python virtual environment used in this project? A, to provide an interactive documentation interface for the API. B, to convert text documents into numerical embeddings. C, to isolate project dependencies and prevent conflicts with other Python projects. Or D, to speed up the execution of Python code. Azam says C, to isolate project dependencies and prevent conflicts with other Python projects. Okay, all right, let's go with C. Everybody else seems a bit quiet, so let's go with C. Nikhil says C. Okay, C is correct. A virtual environment creates an isolated space for a project's Python packages and showing that different projects can use different versions of libraries without interfering with each other. Nice. Amazing. And with that, we've completed the quiz. 6 out of 6. High five, team. High five. All right, so we are done with the quiz. And if you want to walk through the entire project, you can go through all of it. Natasha has done a complete demo of the project and she goes into great detail about every step. So feel free to go into that as well. And let's go. So we can always go with a mode that we like, step-by-step guidance if it is very new to you, or if you're like me and you want all the guidance that you can get. Some guidance is a great option to just make sure that you've done it once, or you're pretty sure how to do it, you know how to do it, but you just want that little recipe to give you a little comfort, or you can do it on your own. Remember, if you're doing it on your own, uh, you don't have any of the tasks. So no interruption in your flow of work, but you won't have access to the documentation right after. So if you want the documentation, which comes up right here, you might want to do either the step-by-step guidance or the sum guidance, or, do the on your own first and then come back and do the tasks. All right. Okay, I might need your help with this, with completing the tasks. Let's see. What are we going to do? What are we here to do today? What are we going to do in this project? There's just so much going on. We're like setting up a Python workspace, creating a knowledge base, building a RAG API. This is big. We're creating a RAG API using FastAPI, and yeah, my goodness. This is very exciting, isn't it? Let's see. All right, so let's see how I can put it in my own words. In this project, I will demonstrate how to build my own RAG RAG-based RAG-based, what am I looking for? RAG-based API, RAG API? Okay. Demonstrate how to build my own RAG API using modern frameworks like FastAPI to create intelligent APIs. All right, let's see. I'm doing this project to, oh my goodness, to learn a little bit about everything, really. And I don't know, how do you like to do your tasks? Are you the one who likes to do the tasks while doing the project, or do the project first and come back to the tasks? Everyone is so different, and there's different ways of doing it. So I'm curious to know what your style is. How do I want to word it? I will create a RAG API using FastAPI, Chroma, Olama. Yeah, I'm going to start with that, and we can add to that using FastAPI, Chroma, and Olama, right? To create an intelligent API that answers questions based on the knowledge base I provide. All right. And the cool thing is, I can always come back and edit it anytime I want in the documentation as well. So it's like a pencil. It's writing in pencil. You can always erase and come back to it. Or if you're very happy with it, you can leave it as it is. Sometimes if you add pluses and then you want to come back and say, I want to put and, you can always do that. So many options. Oh, it's very interesting. Juan and Soheb like to do the tasks while doing the project. Whoa. Is there anybody else who likes to do the project first and then comes back and does the tasks? Tell me. All right, set up your own environment. Let's set up the core tools you'll need for this project, Python and Llama. Python is the programming language that we'll be using to build the API. Llama runs AI models locally on the machine. So we'll install these first because the API, the RAG API, will need both the tools to be running. So this step one is just setting up the environment. And we're going to be installing Python, we're going to be installing Llama, and we're going to pull the tiny Llama model. So in this step, I'm setting up Python and Llama. Python is the programming language we'll be using. Is the programming language we'll be using to build the API. Llama is the is going to run the AI models locally on my machine. And I need these tools because the RAG API needs both. I'll need these tools because the RAG API needs both tools to be running. Amazing. Cool. And then I can always just go and see my beautiful little answer over here. Ooh, question. Which theme do you like? Do you like the light? Do you like the dark? Or do you like the fun? Hey RJ, good to see you here. Azam, I know your answer. I think you're gonna go with dark mode. Oh, Shane says dark. Roy's gonna say dark. Does anybody like the fun mode? I feel like the light mode is very vanilla. The dark mode is like chocolate, the classic. And the fun mode is like birthday cake. Once you go black, you never go black. I like the dark blue theme. What is the dark blue theme? Oh, maybe are you suggesting a new theme for NextWork, Roy? I hear you. Do we need a dark blue theme? Okay. Dark blue theme. What is this dark blue theme? Interesting. Dracula theme. Whoa. Okay. All right. Clearly, it looks like I might be missing something. A cyberpunk version would be cool. Not sure if that's professional. I mean, it's your brand. It's your professional brand. So why not, right? I'd be cool to see. I'd be keen to see security projects with a cyberpunk version, you know? I think that would fit. Very, very cool. Okay. Out of curiosity, who's doing the project with me? Who's watching and who's doing the project with me? Ooh, Soheb is doing it. Shane is doing it. Azam is doing it. Nikhil is doing it. Whoa. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Sean, Roy. Roy, you're doing it too? I thought you had work and you're just going to watch on the side. This is exciting. This is super, super exciting. Okay. So y'all have to tell me if you're ahead or behind me, okay? Oh, I'm going at a good pace. Okay, okay, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, and let me know if I should slow down or go fast. My goal is to finish it in within 2 hours, and because this is a 60-minute project, I think I have time to socialize as well, which is why I'm kind of taking my time. Shane is ahead, but I'm catching up. Oh, challenge accepted. Okay. All right, all right. Let's install Python now. So Python is the programming language that we'll be using to build our API. And let's check if it's already installed in my system. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys might be ahead now because I might need to install a couple of things. Let's see. Okay, we've got my terminal up. And let me see, what version of Python do we have? So if you're new to NextWork, you have this handy dandy little copy, and then paste and enter. Ah, I have Python, so I see a version number. So this is really cool, isn't it? Like if you don't have Python, you can click on this. If you do see a version, you can click on this and just get to the next step. All right, so Python is installed and ready to use. Okay, now the question is which version? Oh, I see 3.13. Oh, perfect. You have the correct Python version installed. Whoa, nice. Phew. Am I catching up, Shane? Am I catching up? Okay, let's install Llama now. Okay, first let's check. So what is a llama again? A llama is a tool that lets you run large language models, LLMs, locally on your own computer. So instead of sending requests to cloud services like OpenAI or Anthropic, Olama runs the AI model directly on your machine. This gives you privacy, no API costs, and the ability to work offline. In this project, we use Olama and we're using the Tiny Llama model. So that's what's going to power the AI responses in the RAG system. Okay, so now let's check if we have the Olama version. I have Olama. All right. Okay, it's kind of the boring answer, isn't it? Who has a llama? Put your hand up on the chat. Ooh, why is it called a llama or tiny llama? I don't know. That is such a funny question. I wonder if our ask has an answer. Shall we find out? Why is it called a llama or a tiny llama? I'm sure there's some reason. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we have Olama installed. So, isn't this cool? Now I can choose my path. This is like choose your own adventure um, in the within the NextWork project. So I would click on, I see a version number. How are you doing, Juan? Do you have a version number? Sean, where are you guys at? Roy, Shane, you guys already have this installed or what's the situation? Okay. Oh, great question, Roy. Uh, it's easy to get these two terms confused, especially when they work together. Tiny Llama is the name of the actual large language model. Funny. It's called Tiny because it's a compact version, specifically 1.1 billion parameter model built on the architecture of Llama 2. Its small size makes it efficient and suitable for running on local machines, which is why you're using it in this project. And despite its size, it performs well in various tasks. Olama, on the other hand, is the framework or platform that allows you to run and manage the LLMs. So that includes Tiny Llama. Think of Alama as the software that provides the environment and tools for you to easily download, run, interact with various LLMs. And for this project, your FastAPI application uses Alama to communicate with Tiny Llama model to generate answers. Ooh, big llamas and tiny llamas and llamas all over. But why llama? Hmm. Is there a historic reason for why llama? Why llama? Let's find out. I don't know. But it's a great question, isn't it? Whoever created it must have felt like, I feel like a llama today. Like Python. It's named after another animal. Oh, just kidding. Llama stands for LLMMA, Large Language Model Meta AI. Did you know that? I feel like you guys would have known that. This is, I didn't realize. It was developed and released by Meta in 2023. So it's an acronym rather than being named after the animal. Nice. Good questions, team. Learning good trivia. It's good to know. Good, good. All right, so back to the project. Okay, I've got Shane, who is way ahead of me. Not that this is a competition, although I might be a little competitive. This is not a competition. Okay. All right, so we have a version number. Um, okay, so let's just check if it's working properly. Let's run this command again. I don't think that is necessarily needed. And then to see the output is 0.13.5, yes. Nice, that tells us that Olama is installed correctly and the command line tools are working, no connection warning either. To be sure, we can also double check Olama service is actually running. Run the following command in your terminal. Okay. Olama's running. Okay, so what did that command just do? This sends a quick HTTP request to Llama service on your machine, which listens to the port 11434 by default. That's the port that Llama service binds to when it starts. If the service is running, it will respond. If it's not, you'll see a connection error. And so this is a really fast way to confirm that the service is alive. Amazing. And so the difference is by running this command, you are just checking if the tools are installed, and the curl command is testing the service itself. Nice. So yes, Olama is running. All right. Olama is ready to go. Okay, now with Olama installed and running, you're ready to start running AI models locally. We'll use Tiny Llama for this project. It's smaller, faster, and perfect for learning and local development. Amazing. So we're now going to pull the Tiny Llama model. Right, and we already covered that about tiny llamas. So great questions, team. We're all ahead. Okay, let's see if we have the Tiny Llama model installed. So a llama list. Do I have Tiny Llama list? Oh, okay. This command shows all models currently downloaded on your machine. All right, so if you have Tiny Llama, you will see what I see, I think. Oh, maybe we need a different screenshot. All right. Aw, Sloth is gonna go. All right. Really nice seeing you, but do join if you get back home in time. Bye, 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 Sloth. All right, so I happen to have Tiny Llama. So I think this is the one. Maybe the screenshot is incorrect. All right, so now if we already have Tiny Llama, we can skip installing it. Okay, so what is a llama? Why did we download the Tiny Llama model? Okay, we just read through this. A llama is a framework that allows me to run and manage large language models. I downloaded Tiny Llama model because it's smaller and compact because it is a compact version, and it is efficient and suitable for running on local machines, especially for this project. This model will help my RAG API by how will it help my RAG API? I think by giving it more accurate answers, right? Is that what I'm looking for? Yeah, it will power the AI responses in my RAG system. Oh, Nat. Oh, yeah, you're going to be here. Okay, I thought you were saying bye to me. By, oh, yeah, Azam says it'll be the brain. True, it's going to power my RAG system, and it's going to be the brain. It will help my RAG API to power, to, how do I want to describe that? I think doing the tasks while doing the project is great because it makes you go back and make sure you understand everything. Otherwise, you can just blindly go through all the instructions and not really think about what you're doing. So this is good. It's good to stop and think. The Tiny Llama really powers the AI responses. How do I want to word it? This model will help my API to give, to generate answers. Okay. All right, let's check it out, shall we? Looking nice. Okay, I've gone with the dark mode, but I think I'm gonna go with fun. Sorry, guys. You guys can have dark mode. I'm gonna go with fun. Okay. Let's test the Tiny Llama now, shall we? All right. Okay, test time. So we've got a llama run Tiny Llama. Okay. It's asking me for a message. What is a llama doing behind the scenes? A llama run Tiny Llama loads the Tiny Llama model into memory and keeps a conversation session open. Every time you type a message, a llama sends it to the model, gets the generated reply token by token, and streams it back to your terminal so you can chat with the model without writing any extra code. Okay. All right, so let's type a question, shall we? I'm going to ask our little model to tell us what is Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a popular Argentinian pasta dish made from homemade pasta, creamy mashed potatoes, and a mixture of cheeses that includes provolone, cheddar, and parmesan. Whoa, I have never had Kubernetes for a meal. Let me tell you that. That sounds good. It's often garnished with a freshly shaved Parmesan cheese. Oh my God, my mouth is watering, guys. What is this? This is not Kubernetes. This dish is believed to have originated in late 19th or early 20th century, but it has become popular in Buenos Aires due to its simplicity and classic taste. Do we have anybody from Buenos Aires to tell me if this is right? What is going on? I would like a portion of Docker with it. Hilarious. I'm almost curious to find out what will happen if I say, um, what is Docker? What is Docker? Can I get a side of Docker with it? Oh, 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 interesting. So there's some right answers. Okay. So let's see. We put Kubernetes, we send the message, we get this really interesting answer. Oh, look at this. This is another answer. Kubernetes is a popular brand of baby food that has been manufactured in the United States. Something with food. I guess Kubernetes just sounds like food, and Docker just sounds like a containerization technology. I mean, that's fair. Kubernetes does kind of have that chef's kiss kind of tasty ring to it, and Docker is more like an anchor. So maybe, and there was already some information, I suppose. Yeah, so yeah, the response I got has nothing to do with containers or DevOps. Kubernetes aren't this three cheese Argentinian pasta dish. So I don't know what you're talking about. What is going on? So this is why we need RAG. RAG retrieves relevant information from the documents that we provide and then uses that context to generate accurate answers, even if Tiny Llama doesn't know Kubernetes from its training. Why did it get Docker right? So I asked the Tiny Llama model what Kubernetes was, and it gave me a wrong answer. But when I asked what Docker was, it gave me a right answer. Why is that? Hmm. That's an interesting observation. And it could be, oh, long answer. So some of it is we do have some training models that are um, that Tiny Llama relies on, and then some we need to give context. So it's yeah, so that's why we need a RAG system to make sure that it has exactly what context we want to give it. So this is really important when we're having a chatbot that we want to put into our system, and we want to give specific contextual information. So that's why we need RAG. Yeah, Azam says it could be trained on limited data or some issue with a cutoff date. Yeah, that's fair. Good, good, good answer, Azam. Okay, so let's upload a screenshot of Olama and Tiny Llama. So let me take a screenshot of this. And I'm going to get it with the Olama. I see that I've highlighted. Oh, maybe that's just how it is. Okay. Taking a screenshot of this. And I love our little feature of where we can just hover and paste. Beautiful. Okay. And we hit done. Look, it's there. It's there. Amazing. Okay. All right. So now we just exited by saying bye-bye and done. All right. So we are done with running our little Tiny Llama chat interface. And now I am on to step 2. How's everyone doing? Where are you guys at? Who's done with step 1 or already done with step 2? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Okay. All right, so now we're done with Python and Llama. Everything is ready. Let's create the project workspace where we will build the RAG API. Shane, you're on secret mission? We just got started. All right, okay, fair enough. We started at 3, 50 minutes into it. I think this is a 60-minute project, so fair. I'm just taking my own sweet time, aren't I? Step 2, set up the Python workspace. So in this step, we are going to create a project folder, create and activate a Python virtual environment, and then install Python dependencies. And we're going to create this workspace, basically just a folder in our computer where we have all our files in one place so that it's organized and easy to manage. Okay, in this step, I'm setting up a Python workspace where I will store all my files in one folder, all my project files. I need it because it will be easier to manage and find files. Okay. Ooh, Azam says maybe a step can be added in Python installation for adding Python to environment variable for Windows. Great feedback. Thank you for sharing that. Noted. Okay, let me quickly note that into my notes very quickly. I think that's very useful. Thanks, Azam. Okay, now, all right, where are we? Create a project folder. So we're going to do this in the terminal. Ooh. All right, so in our terminal, we're going to create a folder, NextWork RAG API. And so this is making a folder in this directory. So let's do it. Going to terminal, copy, paste, and we are already in here. Nice. So just to verify, we're going to do a pwd. And yep, we are in users, MyMenin desktop, and now this new folder that we have created. Nice. Amazing. Now let's create a virtual environment. What is a virtual environment? A virtual environment is an isolated Python environment that keeps your project dependencies separate from other Python projects on your computer. So that's what Azam had nailed in the quiz. Without a virtual environment, installing packages for one project could break another project that needs a different version. A virtual environment makes sure each project has its own set of packages, preventing conflicts. How does it work? When you create a virtual environment, Python creates a folder, usually called venv, and that contains its own copy of Python and a place to install packages. When you activate the virtual environment, your terminal uses the Python and packages from that folder instead of the system-wide Python. Very productive place and makes the life easy, says Azam. Okay, let's set up the Python virtual environment. And let's make sure that we're in our terminal and in the project folder. Okay, we are. And now I'm going to run this command. Nice. Okay, I see exactly what this screenshot displays. You should see a Ven folder appear in your project directory. So let's just check by doing ls. So that's listing all the contents, and we have a Ven folder. Amazing. And if you want more details on every bit of that command, the project guidelines does break it down. Python 3, what does dash m venv mean? Why do we have another venv? And so it's very clear as to the command being like, please use Python 3, run the venv module and create a folder named ven. Awesome. And so now we have verified that the ven folder was successfully created. Now we're going to activate the virtual environment. Why do we have to activate the virtual environment? Activating the virtual environment makes sure anything you install or run with Python only affects this project. It keeps your project's tools and packages separate, so nothing you do here will break other Python programs on your computer. Okay. All right, so I'm going to run this command to activate the environment. Shall we? All right. Now the prompt should show venv at the start. So this indicates that we are now in the virtual environment. So the venv prefix is a visual reminder that you're using the virtual environment's Python packages. Okay, cool. Terminal junkies. All right. Yeah, Shane says this is my favorite place, my second home. Okay, what is this virtual environment? Tell me. What is a virtual environment? A virtual environment is an isolated Python environment that keeps my project dependencies separate. Okay. I'm curious, how many of you go back, look at the guide, and then type it again? How many of you use Whisperflow and talk your answer on? Or how many of you come up with the answer completely on your own? I know some folks type it up and then use maybe the Ask or even ChatGPT to help come up with a better answer. How do you answer? How do you fill out these text tasks? That keeps my project dependencies separate from other Python projects on my computer. I created one for this project to ensure that I'm using my own. Right, let's see. How do I want to explain this? That I'm using my own projects, that I'm keeping my project tools and packages separate. Ooh, Sean uses Whisper. Nice, nice. Nikhil uses the Ask feature, looks at what Nat types, reads back on my notes, and then make my own answers. Nice. I created this project I created one to ensure that my project's tools and packages are separate so that nothing I do here will break one's Python programs other Python programs on my computer. Um, yeah, and everyone can you know can answer this to their heart's content. I know some folks really use all the characters, and now because all of NextWork projects are free, all the features are free, you can go back, you can say done, and then everyone can come back and edit it. So you can edit your answers anytime. You can you can go crazy with your answers. Did you know you can even add bullet points in your answers? So enjoy that process, and then you can always come back and edit it here as well as you see fit. So I can add more here, or I can choose not to put so much, and then maybe I revisit it. So to each their own. Um, Shane says, I try to do it nice and short, but I know recruiters will be looking at it, so I try to fill it up. Exactly. Exactly. Roy says, I use Whisper as well, but I will have Comment Agent eventually write it for me. Oh, I like it. I like it. I think I had a Comment Agent once do an entire NextWork project for me on the AWS console. It was wild. It was so cool. All right. Install Python dependencies. What are dependencies? Dependencies are external libraries that your project needs to run. Instead of writing everything from scratch, we use existing libraries that other developers have created. So let's verify pip is running and working in our virtual environment. Okay, let's check and see our pip version. Okay. So pip is Python's package installer. It downloads packages from Python package index, PYPI, and installs them into your virtual environment. Think of it like an app store for Python. So you should see a path pointing to your Ven folder. Yup. And something like PIP to 25.3, and then you have a whole list. Okay, ending with PIP. Okay, cool. Yep, that's what I see too. All right. Why check the pip path? This confirms that pip is using the virtual environment, not the system Python. If the path doesn't include venv, your virtual environment isn't activated and the packages would install to the wrong location. Okay, so I think we're okay. We've got venv in our path. Nice. Now let's install the required Python packages. Run the following command in your terminal. Ooh. Installing will take 1 to 2 minutes. While we wait, what is pip installing? We're installing FastAPI, UVcorn, Chroma, DB, and Olama. And what are these things that we're installing? FastAPI is a web framework that helps us build APIs quickly. Think of it as a toolkit that handles all the networking and routing logic so that we can focus on writing the actual rack functionality instead. UVcorn, a server that runs our FastAPI app and makes it accessible locally in our machine. ChromaDB is a vector database that stores document embeddings So when a user asks a question, ChromaDB searches through those embeddings to find the most relevant documents. And Ollama is a Python library that lets your code talk to Ollama. While you can use Ollama from the command line, the package gives Python API a way to send questions to TinyLlama and get responses programmatically. These packages work together. FastAPI handles incoming questions, ChromaDB finds relevant documents, Ollama client sends everything to TinyLlama for answer generation, and then Uvicorn just serves it all up. And now they're all available in this virtual environment. Look at that. So it's separate from the rest of the projects and very easy to delete. Very, very neat and tidy, which is exactly what Azam was talking about. It is a nice little way of keeping things clean. All right, tell me, Roy, Nikhil, Sas the Hero, Soul Reaper, TC, RJ, Raj, Sean, Shane, Azam, Juan, Sohib, Pranav, where are you in the project? Are you at step 3 or step 2 with me or at step 1? Or are you done? Shane, finished. Okay. Oh, Sohib says, still struggling with updating the Python version to 3.13 for some reason. Okay, I think that's very common and not a problem, so hang in there. Cool. Yeah, thanks, Shane. Thanks for stepping up. Nikhil is on step 1. All right, no problem. It's good. Using Windows. Okay, thanks. You guys are awesome. This is what an interactive build lab is, right? We're doing the project as a community and we're here. If you're running into an error, we help each other. So nice to see that Shane is done and ready to help out. Amazing. Thank you, Shane. Let's see. Pip. So now we're going to verify all the packages are installed. Everything is installed. Beautiful. How exciting. How exciting. Okay, I'm going to put a screenshot of my little command and the versions. Okay, Control V. All right, and then, ooh, what packages did you install and what is it used for? The packages I installed are FastAPI, Roma, Uvicorn, and Ollama. All right. FastAPI is to build it very quickly. But how do I properly describe it? You know, that's the thing, right? You can do a project and you can build a skill, but you also want to be able to communicate and tell people what you've done. And I think these tasks are so good to make sure that you remind yourself what it's for. So the Fast API is a web framework that helps us build API quickly. So Fast API is used to build web APIs, quickly, to build, okay. Chroma is a vector database that stores document embeddings. And these are the embeddings which, yeah, ChromaDB will search through those embeddings. Okay, all right, let's see if I can describe that properly. Okay. Mm, Chroma is used to retrieve the embeddings. All right, hold on. Oh, retrieve or search through is used to search through document embeddings when a user asks a question. Okay. Uvicorn. What is Uvicorn? Uvicorn is the server that runs our Fast API and makes it accessible locally. Used to run the Fast API app and to make it accessible locally, and Olama is used Olama is the library, Python client library that lets your code talk to Olama. While you can use Olama from the command line, this package gives your Python API a way to send questions to Tiny Llama and get responses. So Llama is used for giving the Python API a way to send questions to Tiny Llama and get responses. Okay. Oof. Done with step 2. Let me check out my documentation. Nice, nice. Okay. Looking good. All right, how's everyone going? Let's see. TC is a first-time audience member. Oh, you're gonna join me? Awesome. I can't wait. TC, where are you joining from? Which part of the world are you in? Roy says, I got distracted. Still in step 1, but I'm digging this motion loading icon. I love it. Thanks. Azam, okay. Azam and Shane and Nat are on the Python versioning error that Sohib is running into. Great. Awesome. I'm loving this interactive build lab. What a great community. Such a great community. Okay, step 3. Create your knowledge base and embeddings. Great work. Your Python environment is set up. Let's create your knowledge base and convert it to embeddings that your RAG API can search through. Oh, why do we need a knowledge base? AI models like Tiny Llama have limited knowledge from their training data, which is why it knew Docker but did not know Kubernetes. By providing your own knowledge base, you can give the AI accurate, up-to-date information about specific topics. This is the retrieval part of the RAG. We retrieve relevant information before generating an answer. Okay. I see that we've got some issues running Olama, some conflict between LM Studio and Olama and Python. How long does the Olama run Tiny Llama command take? Still wait to verify Tiny Llama is working. It shouldn't take that long. It shouldn't take that long. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. I'm so glad you guys are putting in your errors, and I can come back and look into it. Do you find the ask useful as you run into errors with the Python version or the um, Olama versions. Let me know if the ask feature is useful as you run into these errors. All right, step 3, create your knowledge base and embeddings. Why do we need a knowledge base? AI models like Tiny Llama have limited knowledge from their training data. By providing your own knowledge base, you can give the AI accurate, up-to-date information. Yep. So in this step, we are going to write content for our knowledge base, create a script that prepares the content for AI search, and then run the script to make the content searchable. All right, so in this step, I'm creating content in my knowledge base. A knowledge base is uh, a knowledge base is a collection of, let's see, okay, what is a knowledge base? Give me the technical definition of a knowledge base. What is a knowledge base? A knowledge base is a collection of documents or information. Okay. So I'm creating content for my data in my knowledge base. A knowledge base is a collection of documents or information that my RAG system can search through. Oops, um, I didn't type, did I? A knowledge base is a collection of documents or information that my RAG system can search. I need it because the knowledge base I provide will give the RAG system relevant information before generating an answer. Cool. Oh, look at that. TC has such a good answer. A knowledge base is a proprietary set of data chunked and embedded into a vector store to engineer context specific to its use case. Oh my goodness. I want you to write my documentation up for me, TC. Roy says the ask feature is so useful and distracting. Great for project questions and random questions. Ooh, what is the most random question you've asked the ask feature? Oh, look at that. Azam had such a beautiful answer. Knowledge base is external collection of documents or data that the model retrieves relevant context from to generate accurate answers. Excellent. You guys are pros. Look at that. Okay. Let's now open the project folder in Cursor. Oh my goodness, we're going to open it on Cursor. Before we create files, let's make sure your project folder is open in Cursor so we can create and edit fields easily. All right, let's open Cursor, shall we? Cursor. So you can choose any IDE, but we like Cursor, so we are using Cursor, right? Who likes VS Code over Cursor? Or is anybody using anti-gravity? Azam. You said yes, but I don't know what that yes is for. Yes to anti-gravity, yes to Comet, sorry, no, Cursor, or yes to VS Code. Yes to anti-gravity. Is that your default IDE now? Whoa. Oh, both cursor and anti-gravity. Cool. Okay, let's open the project from the welcome screen. All right, let's go back to my cursor. Where is my cursor? And I'm going to put it a little to the side so that I can continue to look through. Okay. Select your project folder, RAG API. Okay, open project. Oops. We go to desktop and then we go into NextWork RAG API, and that's the one we should open. Okay. Now we should see the RAG API here, yes. And amazing. Everything looks right. Create the knowledge document file. Great, you've opened your project folder in Cursor. Now let's create the knowledge base. Why do we need a knowledge base? AI models like Tiny Llama have limited knowledge from their training data. By providing your own knowledge base, you can give AI accurate, up-to-date information about specific topics. This is the retrieval part of RAG. Okay. Now let's create the knowledge base file. So we create a new file. Where is my new file? Okay. All right, I've clicked new file and I'm going to name it, oh, are you, okay, named it K Kubernetes. Okay. What is K8s? K8s is a common abbreviation for Kubernetes, 8 representing the 8 letters between K and S. Kates. Kubernetes. All right. Why is the file type .txt? TXT is the extension. So it tells Cursor and the computer that it's a plain text. And the text files are simple, easy to read, perfect for storing the information. Cool. So in this newly generated text file, let us give a whole, oh, it's just a definition of Kubernetes. Okay. I'm copying it and I'm pasting it, and I think I should save it. What is this content? It's a sentence that describes Kubernetes, which is a key concept in DevOps. We're storing this as our knowledge base so that when someone asks what is Kubernetes, our RAG system can find this information and use it to generate an accurate answer. So Kubernetes is a container orchestration platform used to manage containers at scale. So I'm going to save this, and that white circle should disappear. Yes. And we're done. Okay, so now we have created our knowledge document with Kubernetes content, and we have to make this content searchable by your RAG system. So we're going to do this and convert it to embeddings. Embeddings are numerical representation of text that capture meaning. And the words with similar meanings are placed close together while unrelated words are far apart. For example, container and Docker would have embeddings that are mathematically similar. This allows the computer to understand relationships between words based on their meaning, not just spelling. Isn't that cool? Everything boils down to just mathematics. How do embeddings work in RAG? When you ask what is Kubernetes, the system converts your question into an embedding, which is a list of vectors. Compares it to the embeddings of all your text in your knowledge base, finds the text with the most similar embedding, uses that text as context for generating the answer. Much more powerful than keyword matching. It understands meaning, all mathematically through vectors. Isn't that cool? Wow. We were just talking about what would the world be like if there was no mathematics, if there wasn't any math. Just would be a crazy, crazy world. Okay, let's create a script that will process our Kubernetes file, convert the text into embeddings, and store them in Chroma, the vector database, making your knowledge base ready for RAG system to search through. In the Cursor File Explorer, select New File again. Or if you're an OG like Shane, you will be using Notepad++. All right, let's create another file and name it embed.py. And this is a Python file that's going to read our knowledge document stored in a Chroma as embedding. Python is the programming language we'll use to interact with Chroma and process our text data. What is Chroma? Chroma is a vector database that stores these embeddings and allows you to search them semantically, not just by matching keywords, but by finding text with similar meaning. So when you ask what is Kubernetes, Chroma converts your question into an embedding, searches for the most similar embeddings in its database, and returns the matching text. This is what makes RAG work. Finding relevant context based on meaning, not just exact word matches. Why use Chroma instead of a regular database? So regular database searches for exact matches or keywords. Chroma searches for meaning. So if you search for container management system in a regular database, it won't find Kubernetes as a container orchestration platform unless those exact words match. But Chroma understands what that means and will find it. Noise. Look at the semantics. Amazing. All right, Sohib, way to go. You resolving that Python error. Nice. Okay. Now let's click inside the newly created embedded.py and paste the following code. Ooh, who's familiar with Python? Import ChromaDB client equals chroma.persistent client. Ooh, good stuff. Okay, let's get a description of this code now. So import ChromaDB imports the Chroma library so we can use it in a script. Client equals chromadb.persistent client. Basically, what we're doing there is creating a Chroma client that stores data permanently. So that's what the persistent client is in the DB folder of your computer. The persistent client means the data will be saved to disk, so it persists even after you close the program. And then we have collection equals client to get or create collection docs. So this This statement gets an existing collection named docs or creates a new one if it doesn't already exist. And a collection is like a folder that holds your documentation and embeddings. And then we have with open kubernetes.txt, or it opens the text file in read mode. The with statement automatically closes the file when done, which is best practice in Python. And then the collection.add documents, text, IDs, Kubernetes adds the text to the collection with the ID Kubernetes. Chroma automatically converts the text into embeddings when you add it. The IDs parameter gives each document a unique identifier so that you can reference it later. And then you're printing out a statement, which is basically a confirmation message to know that the process has been successfully completed. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to run the embedding script. Okay. So let's run the script to load our knowledge content into Chroma. Let's look at the top menu bar in cursor. Click on terminal and hit new terminal. You can also use command shift. Okay, so I go to terminal and new terminal. And then I'm going to run the embedding script to load the knowledge document. Okay. What? I have Python. Uh-oh, what just happened? All right, let's see. So I did not get embedding stored in Chroma. I see an error. But the error I have is different. Oh, my battery is going to die. You're right. Let me put a charge to it. Thanks, Roy. How'd you know? How'd you know? Oh, look at that. You can see everything. um, oh, Shane, you're right. I need to be in Venv. Okay. So what this error means is that because your virtual environment isn't activated, we've opened a new terminal in cursor. It doesn't automatically have the virtual environment. So we need to have a new, we need to activate it every time we have a new terminal session. So even though my error looks a little different from this error, it might be because of the same, because it's not in the virtual environment. I'm not sure. Let me just see if Ask can help me with that. But I think it is because of the virtual environment. Let's just check. I ran into an error that says command not found Python. Is this error also because I'm not in an activated virtual environment? I don't know. You downloaded all your dependencies in virtual environment, not your local machine. Right. Let's see if the ask gives me the answer. Good thinking, you're on the right track. It can be related to not being an activated virtual environment. So I think even though the error Hello. Did y'all miss me? I'm back. Hello. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but I missed you too. I didn't even realize that the audio stopped. But we good, we good, we good. I am here. All right, let me go back to sharing my screen. Okay. Are you seeing my cursor? Amazing. Are we all good? Everything is working? Oh, I missed y'all too. I don't want to be away. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Okay, it's all good. So I was going through the instructions and I was really into it. And I was just observing that even though this error is different from mine, I think the root cause of that error is the same. So let's activate the virtual environment. Let's copy this command. Okay, up. You see that? Now it's in Venv. Yay! Confirms that my environment, virtual environment is now active. Amazing. So let's now run the embedding script again. Right? Okay. Definitely not an error this time. Oh, it's loading. It's loading. Where's everyone at? TC left, but we'll be back for the next lab. Azam, where are you at? Nikhil, Roy, Soul Reaper, Menelik the Third. Ooh, nice name. Dibin Sabu, Rajneesh, Sean, you've been awfully silent. Where are you at with the project? How's it going? Azam, Juan, Soheb, how is the Python step? Ooh, Nikhil's almost done with step 2. Amazing. Amazing. Shane is done, and I am on step 3. Cool. It's so nice that when we're working together, we get different, we're going at different pace, but we're all still in it together. Isn't that awesome? Azam, you got the correct answer for what is Kubernetes? You mean like in the beginning without the RAG model, without Olama, or? Oh yeah, definitely want to see the documentation. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Okay. Oh my God, I'm getting too excited. Hold on. All right, let's go back to the project. Focus, Maya, focus. Okay. All right, run the embedding script again. We've done that, and now it says embedding stored in Chroma. If you're still running into errors, it could be like a Python thing. And ooh, there's some steps in here. So maybe this might be useful. And try using the ask feature as well. Sometimes ask can be really helpful. Rajneesh is working on a different project. Which one? Nikhil, I'm going to have to go, but I'll keep up on my own. But thank you so much for leading. Aw, I'm so glad you joined. Roy says, finished my evening task, so I will be picking up speed, but still step 1. Awesome. Amazing. So good to see all of you doing the project along with me. All right, so the script is now successfully loaded into the knowledge document. Embeddings are now ready for semantic search. And I guess Azam already has the correct answer coming out, yeah? Okay, let's check our file explorer in Cursor. You should now see DB. I do. What is the DB folder? The DB folder was created by Chroma when you ran the embedding script. Yeah. It stores your knowledge base embeddings so Chroma can quickly search through them when your API is running. What do the different files in DB do? Oh, they're different files. The folder with a long UUID, the long name contains the raw embedding vectors and associated data. This is where the actual numerical representations of your text are stored, ready to be searched when your RAC API receives a question. This Chroma SQLite 3 file is an SQLite database. When Chroma stores references and metadata about your documents and embeddings, think of it like an index in a library book. Nice. And feel free to go around and see what that looks like in the file. In cursor, you won't be able to view them. Okay. All right, let's upload a screenshot of the DB folder. And I don't know if it's very visible, to be honest. I can barely see it myself in this dark view. Note to self, change the appearance settings. Okay. All right. Okay, what are embeddings and why did you create them? All right, Azam, I know you got a good answer for me. What are embeddings and why did I create them? Embeddings are like, instead of storing the keywords, it's storing semantics. It's storing the semantics, so it's more accurate than keywords, right? So I'm going to copy this and then see how I can word it in my way. Oh, we just discovered why Olama is named as Olama. Okay. Ooh, I love Azam's answer. Do you just like naturally come out with these answers or do you have some helper? Embeddings are numerical representations of text meaning. I'm doing it for the last 3 years. That's fair. You just know it off the top of your head, don't you? Amazing. How did I create the embeddings? I created them by running the Chrome command, right? The embedding script. I ran an embedding script. You guys are funny. I created them by running a embedding script. Hold on. Embeddings are numerical representations of text meaning. Created so machines can compare and search ideas. I created them by running a embedding script. The DB folder contains what does it contain? It contains the knowledge bases embeddings. Oh, I know what. Let me fix it. Is the echo Or no, maybe not yet. Hold on. Hold on. Now it should be gone. Yay. I got this. I got this. All right. I created them by running a shame. I created them by running a embedding script, and the DB folder contains um, the the knowledge bases embeddings so that Chroma can quickly search through them when the API is running. I think that answers this question. Okay, done. All right, we're at step 4. Okay, almost there. Do you think I can finish this project in the next 10 minutes? And, all right. The knowledge base is now stored as embeddings in Chroma. Now for the fun part, let's build an API that combines AI with document search to answer questions. What is an API? Ooh, I'm surprised we haven't asked this question before. I should have. An API is an application programming interface that lets software retrieve the shared data with other apps. For example, when you use a travel app to see flight prices, the app uses airline APIs to request up-to-date prices and display them for you. In this project, you'll build a web API that can answer questions using AI powered by your own knowledge base. So why do we need an API? Making your RAG system an API means others can use it beyond your terminal. So you could build a web UI that calls your API, integrate your API into mobile apps, connect your API to other services, share your API with teammates. Wow, that's great. Okay. Okay, let's regurgitate that information now, shall we? Um, an API is API, application programming interface. Let's software retrieve and share data with other apps. Fast API will let us create an API quickly, right? I think so. I think that's what we had discussed. Fast API. What is Fast API again? What is Fast API? Um, Fast API is a web framework for building APIs with Python, and it's called Fast API because it allows you to build it very quickly. Fast API is a web framework for building APIs with Python. Ooh, I like that. API is like a set of rules that lets different software programs talk to each other. That's a nice way to put it too. I'm creating this because I want to share my API beyond my terminal, or use my API beyond my local terminal. I want to make, or yeah, use my. Okay. All right, let's create Fast API app. Let's create the main API application that will handle incoming questions, search your knowledge base in Chroma, and generate answers using Tiny Llama. we'll use FastAPI to create the API app. How many of you have used FastAPI before? Okay, so now it tells me FastAPI is a modern Python web framework that is useful for building APIs. So companies like Uber, Netflix, and Microsoft use FastAPI. Why FastAPI? So if you're building API from scratch, you'll have to deal with a lot of technical details, like your code needs to listen for specific requests from other apps and all that stuff. With FastAPI, it takes care of a lot of this background work for you. It handles how requests come in, go out, checks if incoming information is correct, and returns answers in the right format. That means engineers can focus on describing what should happen rather than all the complicated communication and the data handling rules um, that go into building an API. Okay, so we go back to cursor, and in our root, we create a file and we name it app.py. Okay, app.py, app.py. And we want to make sure that it is created in the root folder and not in DB. Yes, that is correct. Once app.py is in the text editor, let's paste this code. Okay, save it. How does this RAG API work? So it it's going to create a web server with one endpoint query. Um, so when the question arrives, someone sends a question to the API at slash query, right? Okay. And then it searches the documents through the knowledge base to find text that matches the question's meaning. Get matching text, so Chroma then returns the most relevant information from the documents, generate and answer the question, and the matching text are set together to Tiny Llama, which creates an answer. And then that sends back the answer. So the answer is sent back to whoever asked the question. This is the complete RAG pattern: retrieve, augment, and generate answer. So retrieve relevant information, then augment the LLM's generation with that information. FastAPI handles the HTTP layer, making this accessible as a web service. What is an HTTP endpoint? An endpoint is a specific URL path on your API that performs a particular action. In this case, query is an endpoint that accepts questions and returns answers. Nice. Okay. So how does RAG API work? What are the main components? My RAG API works by man, how do I describe all this concisely? Concisely. Let's see. My RAG API works by first when someone asks a question to the API with /query. Chroma then searches through the knowledge base to find text that matches the question's meaning. Chroma then returns the most relevant information from the document and generates an answer, and then sends it back. Sends the answer back. Sends the answer back to Right, I'm happy with that answer. Okay, we saved the file, yes. Everything looks good. Now we're going to run the API server. You've created your FastAPI application code. Now let's start the server so that your API can receive and respond to questions. Why do we need a server? Your API code is just Python code sitting in a file. A server is needed to listen for incoming HTTP requests, route requests to the correct endpoint, handle multiple requests at the same time, and convert HTTP requests into Python function calls. Okay. First, let's make sure that the virtual environment is activated. Yes. And then we want to verify that the UVcorn is installed. Okay, let's check. Yeah, and running UVcorn with CPython on Darwin. Ooh, nice. What is UVcorn again? UVcorn is a web server that runs FastAPI applications. Think of it as the engine that powers your API. FastAPI defines what your API does, but UVcorn actually runs it and handles incoming requests. Okay, everything is good. I like how the definitions keep coming up again and again because it kind of reiterates what I'm reading and what I'm learning, which is really helpful. I honestly, I feel like doing this project a second time would be great too. Okay, next, let's check Llama is running. Yes, let us check. Are you running? Oh, what's this? Llama is running. Amazing. Okay. So now we're going to start the Fast API server. Wow, that was fast. Okay. So what that command did was that the reload flag enables hot reloading. So the server automatically restarts when you change your code, which is great for development. This means you can edit your code and see changes immediately without manually restarting the server. Nice. Okay. UVcorn is running and you should see application startup complete. Amazing. Everything looks good. I am going to take a screenshot of this. All right. While I'm taking the screenshot, I see we've got a couple of new folks in the session today. Hello, hello. Good to see you all here. Tell us where you're joining from. Which part of the world are you in? I see Gracie, Joy in Life, Midnight. So awesome. Oh, Midnight was on YouTube. Oh. And then you joined Discord. Oh, I see you. I see you. It's been a while since I've been here. Funny coincidence. I'm working on a RAG project too. Oh, is the audio a little sad? Let me see. Can you tell me if it's better now? Yeah. Thanks for the feedback. I really appreciate when you guys tell me what's working and what's not. Okay. I have the... But also, I kind of like it more when you guys are in Discord because then we can chat live. But yeah, my bad. I was really into the project and I see that there was a lot of comments that I missed. Oops, sorry. Okay. Ooh, look at the work. Yeah, I'm almost there. Wow, step 4 done. Is it time to test? Oh, Midnight says that the volume is still low. Let me try one more thing. And now tell me if it's any better. Midnight, please let me know. Midnight or Nat, whoever is checking YouTube. Thank you. All right, let's test the RAG API. API service running. We're going to test it to make sure everything works correctly. Let's test the API using the command line first. Then try FastAPI's feature called Swagger UI. Oh my goodness, I forgot about Swagger UI. And that lets you explore and test your API visually in your browser. Swagger UI, what was it again? It's an automatically generated interactive documentation page for your FastAPI server. It lets you visually explore your API's endpoints, see what the parameters are, what parameters they accept, and even try them out right from your browser. No special tools or coding needed. All right, in this step, I'm testing my RAG API. I'm going to test it using command line first, and then I will be using FastAPI's feature called Swagger UI. Swagger UI is an automatically generated interactive documentation page that allows me to visually explore the API's endpoints. I'll use it to test it visually. I don't want to say that. Okay. All right. This is it, guys. This is it. Okay. Now let's select the new terminal window. It's right here. Oh, why can't I use the same one? That's a good question. The API server is running in one terminal, so we want that alive. So we're going to create another terminal so that we don't interrupt the server. Okay, we're going to run a command to call the RAG API. Whoa, is this what you saw, Azam? It gave me the right answer. Wow, it gave me a huge answer. I just had one sentence and it's giving me a long answer. Interesting. Very cool indeed. So this is the RAG system working. It retrieved context from Chroma and used a llama's tiny llama model to generate an answer based on the kubernetes.txt file. How did you query your RAG API? Break down the process. How did I query? Oh, is it the command, the curl command? So the curl command, I think I want to include the entire command. I queried my API by using a curl command. The command I used was this command works by using the post method. What does this curl command do? This command works by. How do I want to answer that question? How did you guys answer it? All right, maybe let me explain it in my own words. Let's see. The curl command a curl command is a command line tool for making HTTP requests. And what else? What else do I want to say? The command uses the post method. What is the post method now? What is the post method and why are we using it? Ooh, excellent question. The post method is one of the most common HTTP methods like get, put, delete used in web development. It's primarily used to send data to a server to create or update a resource. Okay. So the curl command is a command line tool for making HTTP requests. The command uses post method. What else do I want to say? The command uses a post method, the URL of the API endpoint, the URL of the API endpoint, and the question. And the question as a URL encoded parameter. And the question as a URL encoded parameter. Nice. Good question. Okay, and so now when I check, ooh, I don't like the format of this. How do I want to fix it? Oh, I have to edit this. Let me edit it right here. Super easy. Nice. And maybe I want to add a space here. There you go. Beautiful. Okay. Now let's explore the API with Swagger UI. Without Swagger UI, you'll have to test your API by manually crafting curl commands. Remembering exact routes, HTTP methods, and payloads. So the Swagger UI will make it very easy and beginner friendly. Great, I like that. So FastAPI automatically generates Swagger UI documentation based on the code. It reads the function signatures, type hits, doc strings, and creates beautiful interactive docs. Okay, so let's check it out, shall we? I'm gonna click, copy, and put it here. Oh. Now, what do I see in Swagger UI? In Swagger UI, I see all available endpoints, which is query. That's the only one we had. HTTP methods. Okay. I see post. And required parameters, response formats, and a way to test it out. Very, very cool. All right, so let's click on post, query, and what information does Swagger show? When you expand the endpoint, you'll see parameters, the data that it expects. So in this case, Q as a query. And then you see the request body and responses. Okay. So let's try it out. I suppose we put, what is Kubernetes? Do I click try it out first? Or do I change it? Oh, I need to click try it out. Change the description. No. I'll add the question in the Q parameter field and then hit execute. And the answer is Kubernetes. Oh, also known as Kubernetes, is a container orchestration platform that helps manage and deploy containers on multiple cloud or in-house clusters. Yay! It gave the right answer. Amazing. Oh, I got a little feedback from YouTube that the font is so small. Is this better, Alok? Thanks for joining. Okay, so that's done. Now we want to see the JSON response in a nice formatted way. And it is, yeah, there's a much more visual way to test your API than using curl. Yeah, amazing. Wow, the RAG API is working. We've successfully built a production-ready API with automatic documentation. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. What have we here in the chat, in the Discord chat? We've got Kubernetes as a pasta dish and a fictional character from Tarzan novel series. Kubernetes has often been depicted as Tarzan's companion. Who knew, Soheb? Who knew? Yay! And for Azam, it worked. Very nice. Have you gotten to the Swagger UI part? All right, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Exciting. Take a screenshot of your browser showing, oh, oops, maybe I'll take one more. I'll add the successful response too. Cool. It worked for me, still creating env. Okay. What is the error? All right, what is Swagger UI, guys? Swagger UI is an automatically generated interactive documentation page for your FastAPI server. So if you want to find a task, you can always just click through, and this is the last one that I have to do. So it's an automatically generated interactive documentation page. It lets you visualize. It allows me to visually explore my API's endpoint, see what parameters are accepted, and even try them out from the browser. All right. Okay, I might have to skip this secret mission today, but Shane, let me know how it went. How was the secret mission? Where's the documentation? Whoa. All right. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a project. What a project. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a beautiful comment, Roy. These NextWork projects have a lot of substance, especially for 21 projects in 21 days. You can tell a lot of work went into them. Big kudos to the planners, designers, and builders. If this is the standard, I'm excited to see what the next 20 look like. Aww, that's beautiful. Oh, Shane, give us the link. Share the link. So if you want to find the link, click on my work and then click on share URL and then just copy. And did you know you can even just change this so you can make it shy sinister, and then we'd have it. See, this is my documentation, y'all. And I'm still not done with my last task. So I have to go back, but you can still check it out. Isn't that cool? What are the key services and concepts you learned in this project? Services I used. Oof. What all did I use? I used, gosh, how did I start? I used FastAPI. I used Olama, Tiny Llama, Swagger UI, Python, Roma. Oh my goodness, how did I forget that one? Cool. Key concepts I learned include RAG. I learned key concepts I learned include RAG. I mean, I learned so much. How do I even, I feel like I need to take time to reflect on everything that I did, make notes. I can add a note here and really go through it. Let me remove the highlight. Let's see. Yeah, I learned so much. Great project. All right, how do I summarize what I learned? I learned I learned a little bit about RAG, and what was the no, not vector DBs. They use, what is the term I'm looking for? What's better than a keyword search? Tell me. Keyword search. Semantic, yes. Semantic search. Okay, that's what I want to say. So I learned RAG and semantic search. Nice. Oh my goodness. It approximately took me more than 2 hours, but I think I socialized a bit. I had a lot of fun doing it. I just laughed a lot. I was just like, what's everyone up to? So I will say 2 hours. Maybe 2.5. The most challenging part, I think it was just like, the concepts. It was pretty heavy, but the project makes it look so simple. Maybe the installation, understanding what that was going through the installation and understanding all the packages and tools I needed to build this project. It was most rewarding to see an accurate answer for Kubernetes. Yay! I did this project because I wanted to learn how to build a RAG API using FastAPI. This project exceeded my expectations. Beautiful. Beautiful project. Big shout out to Nat and Kahu for building this project. Really, really nice. Shout out to Nat. All right. What's next? Oh my goodness. Who's excited for what's next? Tomorrow we have Sean, who is going to be doing the build lab for project 2. That's going out tomorrow. And in that project, you will learn to containerize your API with Docker. How can you make your API run anywhere on any computer or server? In project 2, you'll package your API in a Docker container so it works identically whether it's on your laptop or teammate's machine. I'm so excited. It's coming out tomorrow. And with that, Sean will be running the live tomorrow. Let me put out the event details. Sean, how are you feeling about it? How is this project? Let me put all the details here. Check it out. Exciting. And then we'll take a little bit of a break from the series. And we've got Shane doing a security project. So it's like Security Sunday, maybe Security Saturday in the US. And then on Monday, I will be deploying the API to Kubernetes. This definition that we didn't know about, or maybe a Tarzan companion, or a amazing pasta dish from Argentina. I'm going to deploy it to a pasta dish. Well, if you know, you know, it's not a pasta dish. How do you orchestrate containers at scale. So that's what that project is all about. And then we've got Amber, who's on project 4, automate deployments with GitHub Actions. When your knowledge base changes, how do you build and redeploy automatically? Amazing. Super, super exciting. We've got DevOps projects with AI, very, very not trendy. That's not the word I'm looking for, but very timely. This is what we need to know. These are what engineers are doing. Amazing projects. Thank you so much, Nat and Kahu. You guys are rock stars. All right, how is it going? Sohib. Oh, wait. Wait. One more thing. When you do a project and you complete it, we need to share and we need to hit mission accomplished. This is the best part of the project because you get confettis. See? All right. Oh, I don't know why it went here. That is not the next project. Oops. Okay, let's download the documentation. I definitely want to share it in the NextWork community. And I'm going to continue to Discord. And I'm going to go into my celebrations. Let's create a post. And I'm going to paste completed day 1 of 21 in 21. And it's got my documentation. I'm going to post this. And then y'all are going to be on my screenshot. So I'm going to take a quick screenshot of us. Let's see if I can get a good one. Ismail. And then I will add it here. Thanks to everyone for joining. And I've got Roy, Sean, Soul Reaper. Who else? Shy, Sinister. Oh. Got Azam and One. And Sohib. And Joy and Life. Oh, what a beautiful name. And Nat. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, and then there was folks like Nikhil who was doing the project. So let me add Nikhil in here too. But there was a lot of folks who were in and out. But I'm capturing this one. Yep. No. Yay! Well, I hope you posed for the camera because, well, you know what, Soheb? You're looking very photogenic. I love it. Thanks, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Such an amazing session. Great project. When you complete the project, please share it on Discord. If you put it on LinkedIn, make sure you tag us so that we can cheer and celebrate with you. I hope you enjoy this project as much as I did. Keep us posted. Soheb, if you're getting stuck with the Python, we can definitely take a look in more detail. Sean, let me know how it goes. Roy, can't wait to see it. You know what? Let me just quickly check how many people have done this project. Shall I? Shall I just check? Oh, quite a few. Nice. Amazing. Yes, I do need that leaderboard. Stay tuned. Okay, Sohib says, I'm out of that problem. Now on step 2. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Azam, where are you at? Please don't hesitate to ask for help. If you need anything, if you have a question, if you're stuck on a project, come into the community, come into Discord, put a question in Ask Anything, and we will be there. We will get that error sorted out, and we want to help you learn and be successful in this project. Yay. Okay, Azam says I'm stuck at Venv and setting that up, analyzing the issue and resolving. And just letting you know, I know you guys are awesome at troubleshooting on your own. It's also nice to document errors because if you're going through it, most likely somebody else is as well. So if whether you want help or you don't want help, just put it in Ask Anything, and if you've already resolved the error, tell us how you figured it out. It might help someone else, you know? Yeah, nice work, Sohib. I'm so glad you were able to resolve that issue. It's very important to be able to troubleshoot on our own because sometimes we may not have the resources that we would like to have. But when you're learning, it's nice to lean on things and people in a community that will help you learn faster. Amazing. Oh, you had a port issue. I didn't have that issue. Yeah, everyone has different errors. Amazing. Great session, guys. Well done. High five. Give a round of applause for yourself. Pat in the back. Have a nice drink or a good cup of coffee, whatever time you're at. Maybe a nice, wonderful cup of chai. Azam, I think this is a great celebration. Oh, thanks, Roy. Roy says, "Great work, Maya. You made it. Make it look easy." I was sweating. You should see the sweat pool over here. No, just kidding. It was a lot of fun. You guys made it super, super enjoyable. Yeah. All right. Till tomorrow, or tomorrow it will be Sean. I won't be there, but I will see you on Monday or your Sunday. Amazing. Let's have some chai, some coffee, some drinks. Take care, everyone, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Have a great rest of the day and see you on day 2, 3, and 4 of the 21 and 21. Bye.